Hello, hello, my beautiful, beloved sacred masculines and anybody else who finds their way to this channel. Welcome to another episode of Deep Penetration with Star. This is the show where we get deep into some juicy topic regarding our sacred sexuality journey, getting deeper into connection with ourselves, with Source, with the divine, with the other, with our beloved. Really opening to a much more expanded experience of our sexual energy, of our passion, our creativity, our life force, our vitality. Really opening it up and really clearing out whatever is getting in the way of us having those deep, passionate, sexy, juicy connections that we truly long for. And again, that connection is first and foremost with ourselves. For me, authentic Tantra is that balance of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine within first and foremost, and then we can share that with another. This is a key piece. We've got to have the harmony and balance within before we can have it without. Our outer world is an expression or a reflection of our inner world. If we're having turmoil and dysfunction in our outer relationships, that means we've got some imbalance within that we need to look at. So that is the premise of the show. This is what we're doing here. A week or so ago, I was talking about safety, feeling safe, and how important that is and conducive that is to deeper connection, deeper sexual connection, deeper union with the other, with ourselves, with our own beautiful bodies. We need to feel safe in our bodies. We need to feel safe with a partner. We need to feel safe in our expression. We need to feel held and loved and cared for and nourished and supported. Really, really, really important. I tried to make this video a couple of days ago, and I was just in the strangest energy and I just couldn't talk, and I'm feeling it right now. I think I'm still a little bit in that energy because normally I'm just like, and it's just flowing out. But I found out that there was some big solar storm or something that happened on, I believe it was Monday. So, or maybe it was the day before, but that energy was really powerful and really strong, and I just felt exhausted. So I don't know if you're feeling that energy as well, but let's just ride with it and open to what it is, right? And appreciate the fact that we are really ascending, really taking in some powerful new light codes from the sun that are helping us to elevate and activate and open up our consciousness, expand our consciousness and our awareness so much more. But with that, like, our bodies are like going through it, right? Body, mind, spirit is going through it. So we can be very emotional. I've been feeling really emotional, just super like elated, but just also super sensitive and just super exhausted, feeling also overwhelmed. So there's a lot going on. So I just want to honor that and bring it into the conversation in case you've been experiencing that. And I'm noticing myself like still not fully like feeling online, my normal, like, wow, if you've seen my other videos, I can just talk, and it's just flowing out. So I'm feeling a little bit more like, ooh, I don't know. So I'm just going to honor that for myself and honor that for all of us. And, knowing is half the battle. I don't really like to relate to things as a battle, but it's a great quote from G.I. Joe that I really like. Knowing really, it helps us when we know there's big solar storms and that our energy is likely to be feeling, it helps us to relax into the fact that like, oh, okay, that helps me to understand why I'm feeling like just so drained. And now I can open up to more compassion and empathy for myself and all that I'm moving through, and others. If others that you're surrounded with are just like, whoa, really going through it, we can really honor them and their journey as well. So, also feeling some scratchy throat going on too. So, anyway, coming back to our topic at hand is safety and the importance of that in our sexual expression. I went to an ecstatic dance this last weekend, and I don't know if you've been to ecstatic dance, if that's available in your area, but it was just so freeing and supported, and everybody's just moving and in their bodies and moving in all sorts of ways. There's so much expression, there's so much uniqueness and individual expression, and watching everybody and experiencing how everybody experiences and expresses their energy and moves their body and gets into it and explores that process and allows the body to move. I really just saw, if you're familiar with that saying, we're not physical beings having a spiritual experience, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. And I really could see that in everybody. I just saw all of us as these, light beings in these bodies, like playing and having fun with them. And it was a really lovely place. I felt very safe, very supported in my own expression, however I wanted to move and show up. And I felt, again, it was very emotional. It was just, tears were right there on the surface, and I felt totally safe to cry and be in my experience. In my own, I wasn't like, whoa, like, bringing everybody into it and making a drama scene out of it. It wasn't that, but I just, tears were coming, so I just was moving and dancing and allowing the tears and allowing whatever was coming up for me in my process. And it was, at one point I laid down on the floor and I was just, had my legs spread, and I was just kind of like in, I think it's like child's pose or something, just rocking back and forth and feeling this, like, just held in being open in my body, very open and free. Normally that's kind of a vulnerable position in a public place, right? Just like legs spread, just rolling around on the floor, just like feeling all this energy and movement and expression. And I just felt so safe and supported in it, and that just really brought more emotion. It's just like, how often do we have that feeling? How often do we feel just so safe to be whoever we are and show up however we are and express whatever and let our bodies move however they feel called to move? And just allowing that process without judging it, without shutting it down, without just like, oh, I don't think this is okay. What are people going to think of me? It was such a beautiful experience, and I just really allowed myself to be in it, and I allowed the tears to flow. And I was off in the back by myself, but I saw other people around were having their own experiences and doing their own things, and it was just such a gorgeous container. But I bring that in because that's the kind of container we need to create for ourselves. And once we are able to do that for ourselves, then we are able to also bring that in for a partner, should we choose to experience one, and really helping them to feel safe. We can't have those juicy, amazing, sensual, sexy experiences and connections when we're in defense mode, when we're not feeling safe and held, and it's not okay to express, and we don't feel comfortable sharing what we really like, or asking questions, or being in whatever sexual expression we are. If we're shutting ourselves down, if we're worried about how our body's looking, or how it's going to be received, or what it's doing, how it's performing, if we're all up in our mind and we're not feeling safe to just be ourselves, that shuts us down to so much pleasure and so much love and so much connection and so much what's on offer in these experiences, and what they really have the potential to be about. I almost said should be about, but they shouldn't be about anything at all in particular. They just are, they have the potential for us to have real connection and to feel really beautiful pleasure in our bodies, and really deep union with another, union with source, when we're allowed to let go, when we're allowed to drop all those defenses, and when our partner is also feeling confident and safe to do so. So are you able to do this for yourself? How do you help yourself feel safe in sexual experiences? And even, sorry, I have an itch back here, it's driving me nuts. Even feel safe by yourself. We even put up our defenses around like self-pleasuring. We have guilt and shame, or we don't allow ourselves to explore. We get stuck in ruts, and we don't allow for more of I got exploration is the word that's coming to mind. But do we feel safe in our body to let go into as much pleasure as is possible? Are we holding a lot of tension and stress? Do we hold trauma from previous experiences? Do we hold bad memories from previous relationships? Are we judging ourselves or criticizing ourselves for how we're showing up, or any aspect of our sexuality? Those are all ways that we can not feel safe in our own bodies, right? Not feel safe in our own experience by ourselves. And if we're in that place, we're going to bring that into our experience with another, right? So how do you feel safe? How do you support yourself to just let go into your experience and explore? Excuse me. I actually wrote notes on this. I usually don't because I'm just flying, but again, this is an important thing, and my mind is a little cloudy today, so that's okay. Okay, so talking about, like I was just saying, like what helps you to feel safe in your own body, but then getting extremely clear on what helps you feel safe with another. If you choose to engage with a partner, how do you feel safe? What do they need to know that will support you in feeling safe? For myself, I have some boundaries and some let's just say boundaries that help me to feel safe. And when I express those to a partner, I don't have to worry about my boundaries being crossed. It's understood, and I don't have to have the conversation in the middle of the experience and feel like, oh, I don't want to interrupt this flow because I forgot to mention boundaries, or and now I'm in my body and I'm tense, like, oh, I didn't want them to touch me there in that place, and now, like, okay, shoot, feeling the tension as maybe a hand is moving closer to somewhere that isn't comfortable for me, so then I'm in my mind, then I'm in stress, then my body's in fear mode and all tensed up, and I'm no longer in the moment. I'm no longer present. I'm no longer really connecting. I'm in a fear-based experience, or in distraction, or in my mind or something. So what are your boundaries? What are some areas that you're not interested in exploring? Like, please don't, I would not like to be touched there, and are you able to express that? Are you able to express that? Are you able to express what it is you really do enjoy? Do you feel comfortable with the partner that you're with expressing that? Maybe there's some new things you'd like to try. Are you comfortable sharing that with your partner? Are you with somebody, connecting with somebody who supports you in your process and that you feel confident enough around? This is all very important. We have to get confident with ourselves, but then we have to choose people that we're comfortable sharing with, people that are also on a path, people that are also interested in sacred sexuality, people that are also appreciative of the need to feel safe and the need for communication. These are all really key points. And if you're in a connection where you're not feeling that, that's something you need to look at for yourself, and why you are in that connection, and why you would not feel safe, why you would attract people in that you don't feel safe with, and that you can't have those communications with. And this is part of our path, because often we start off here, right, where it's not really supported to have communication. We don't even know what our boundaries are. We don't know what we're interested in. We haven't explored our own sexuality enough. And then we connect with somebody else who's in the same boat, and we're just kind of both fumbling along. And having connections or communications around things that we haven't even explored ourselves can be really challenging. If we don't know ourselves, we're not likely to be able to communicate that very well. And this is, of course, not all across the board. Anything I ever say is a general statement. So if this does not resonate for you, there's a woman I watch, she's like, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. I love that. If this isn't resonating with you, that's great. Maybe you're totally great with communication, yourself, this is awesome. But for those that don't, it's just a really important piece to explore, right? And to have this conversation around safety. So, but yeah, and what do we draw into ourselves? Do we draw in people that support us not feeling safe. That's something that we need to look at as well. And are we feeling not worthy of safety? Are we feeling unlovable, or that we don't deserve to be held and cherished and nourished in that beautiful way that we truly long for? You know, so those are patterns that can be coming up for you right now as I'm having this discussion. Again, this is why self-reflection, self-exploration, self-discovery, the spiritual path, getting on self-improvement path, whatever it is, really diving into your own belief systems around your worthiness, lovability, sexual expression. You know, what does all that look like? Boundaries, safety. It's all tied up together, right? If we're not feeling worthy and confident in ourselves, we're likely to attract those things that continue to support that feeling of unworthiness, not worthy of safety, not worthy of being able to communicate boundaries, right? Not worthy of love just for being who we are. That was something that I really worked with. I thought, you know, like if a partner wants to have sex, that I need to just be doing that regardless of how I feel or where my energy's at. Like that was, I felt like it was a duty. I was supposed to do that. And if I didn't, there was something wrong with me. I wasn't worthy of love. Like that was, to me, kind of tied up with lovability. My lovability was based around how I performed sexually. And if I wasn't, I felt a lot of guilt and shame around that and felt like I wasn't holding up my end of the bargain or something. You know, it was love was very much around sexuality for me, based on that not conducive to real healthy connection, right? So a lot of work to do around that one for myself, and recognizing like, no, however I'm showing up, whatever my sexual energy is, I need to support that. I can't expect a partner to support it if I can't support it for myself. Do you understand how that works? We have a lot of expectations of our partner to help us feel safe, to help us whatever, to support us in certain ways, when we're not doing that for ourselves. I didn't know how to support my own energy and feel confident in that and feel lovable regardless of how I was showing up sexually, whatever my energy was. So how can I expect a partner to help support me in that as well? You know, I had to get clear and confident and be able to communicate and take those risks, take those, put myself out there and say like, hey, I really love you and care about you a lot, but I'm not interested in having sex right now. I'm just not feeling that. But it's no reflection of like how I care about you, or, you know, I had to go through that and have those conversations. And you know, it was quite a process, but this is what we're doing here, right? This is what we're doing here. We got to push our out of our comfort zones and start having those conversations, because again, on the other side of this is where all the beauty and those deep, passionate, sexy, sensual connections lie. They're on the other side of this work, right? And this self-exploration and self-discovery. So, then once we can feel safe, and we do feel safe in our experience with ourselves, with a partner, we can really support them to feel safe as well. We can help to ask questions and explore and learn together, you know, and it is a learning process. Sometimes we might not know what doesn't feel safe until we're in the moment, and it's like, oh, that's actually really not something I'm interested in. And are we okay? Are we confident enough in ourselves? Do we love ourselves enough to just say, hey, that's actually not my thing right now, but thank you. Maybe later, or that's a hard no. You know, it's about loving ourselves enough to just say, hey, that's not my thing. And knowing that's fine, and we don't have to worry about judgment or criticism. And again, this comes down to choosing other partners who are comfortable with this, and that means we have to have the conversations, and we have to start from the beginning. When we meet people, you know, when we enter into a new connection with somebody, we have to start these conversations right away, so it doesn't like get too far ahead, and then it's just like, oh shoot, I should have said this before, and now I feel like it's awkward and uncomfortable, you know, and having to backpedal. So always start having these conversations at the beginning of a connection, regardless if that's going to be a one night connection, a week-long thing, or looking for a longer term experience, you know, whatever it is. Again, safety is not, there's no time limit on that. It's just, we need to feel safe in all of our experiences. So, back to that communication, and, loving ourselves enough to know that we're worthy of saying no if we need to, and saying yes if we change our mind too, right? So, and there's so many books on this about how to have healthy communications around sexuality. It's not my expertise. I'm just knowing that it is very important, and I have read some of those books, and I think they're on my website, actually. If you want to go check it out, there's a couple referenced on my website. I'm not remembering the names right now. Maybe it's like tongue-tied or something, but yeah, some good books on communication and how to do that for yourself. But a key piece to me is just the communication skills alone are, I mean, those are important, but it's about the worthiness and loving ourselves enough to have those communications. We can have those skills, but if we're not feeling comfortable and we don't love ourselves enough to go forward with those communications, and we're not drawing in the people that support that level of communication, you know, it's I think the two go hand in hand, right? They do. We need it all. So again, doing that inner work for ourselves. So let's see, what else do I want to say about that? Yeah, the safer we feel, the more open and expanded our connection is going to be, our pleasure is going to be, our connection to source and to the divine is going to be. We can't open it into those like full body experiences when we're guarding parts of ourselves and when we're shut down, right? That reminds me of a lovely couple of breathwork practices on this channel to help open up the sexual energy as well, and help open up and release some of those blockages and tensions that we're carrying in our body that maybe we can't even articulate, right? We don't even know exactly what they are. We just have tension and fear. I had a lot of fear I was just holding in my pelvic region, and a lot of stress and tension that didn't have logic to it because I wasn't feeling unsafe in my experience, but I recognized the tension. I'm like, I am really holding a lot of stress right there. And so I would very, very consciously during my own self-pleasuring, and this is where this is really important, so you can work on this by yourself in your own safety, right? Work with this energy, work with clearing this out of your body, mind, and spirit. I would work with this with self-pleasuring and also with a partner. In union and in that connection, I would just breathe very intentionally and deeply into those areas I felt stress, into my pelvic region, and I would just like do my best to open, and release tension very, very intentionally. Release it down into the Mother Earth, grow roots down into the earth and release that energy, and just open, and breathe in calm, safety, love, peace, healing energy, breathing that in. Again, wonderful to practice with by yourself. But then if you have a partner, and some of my partners, I didn't need to tell them I was doing this, although it's great if you have a partner that can help you with this. This is awesome, and this is ideally where we're moving to. But I just started noticing it with partners, and I was like, oh. So I just wanted to consciously, intentionally work with that energy and help to release so I could take them in even more, take in that gorgeous, beautiful, sacred masculine even more, allow it into my whole body even more. The more I can relax, the more I can take in the masculine and just like marinate in that gorgeous energy and that gorgeous sacred union, right? If I'm blocking that energy and that connection consciously or unconsciously, like, ooh, and I noticed it was an unconscious thing. So yeah, I just really, shoot, I'm wondering, oh gosh, there's a truck right there. I think they want me to move my little bus. Shoot. But I was very intentionally working with that and recognizing that that stress and tension, and intentionally working to move it. I think I'm gonna have to pause the video right now. I think people are here to do some work on this house I parked next to. So I will pause and then either continue with a part 2 or actually, you know what? Maybe I can just wrap this up and we'll go to the cards another time. So I feel like I've said a lot of what I wanted to say. So I'll just go ahead and wrap that up. I think it's really important. Again, just open up these energies, and we'll continue this discussion because, yeah, there might be more to say, but this is the gist of it, opening that up for ourselves. So Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, we'll visit the cards another time. But thanks for joining me for this really important discussion. If you have any thoughts, comments, please leave them below. And I invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to help get it out to more people. This information so important to really, again, those juicy, beautiful, beloved, sexy connections we're longing for. They're available to us when we get on the other side of this and really feel safe to open into those in a really big, powerful, juicy way. So I hope this has sparked some things for you and helped you to look at your own experience around safety more and open into that and see what you can do to help yourself feel even more safe in your connections. And again, start with your own personal practices with this first and really do a lot of self-exploration and reflection. And what would help me feel safe in a union, safe in connections? What do I need to express? What are my boundaries and how can I communicate them? And even if writing them down is easier for you, that's a great place to start, right? That could be lovely. But yeah, find out what your boundaries are, get very clear on those, and get comfortable sharing those with another. And set the intention to welcome in people that are supportive and also on a path to support you on your journey, and they are interested in supporting themselves and opening up into this new way of connection and sacred sexuality as well. It's a beautiful path. It's a beautiful path. Visit my website for so many more resources as well. Our pilgrimage to India is coming up in November 2024. It is 2024, obviously, but we're getting ready for that. So come and explore sacred sexuality with us in India. It's going to be stunning and exquisite and really opening to the sacred masculine, sacred feminine energies, connecting with that gorgeous sacred union within. This is authentic Tantra, really getting into our own experience and opening up that sensuality and sexual energy and the God and Goddess within. Very, very, very powerful. So please check that out. Explore my YouTube channel for so much more around sacred sexuality to support you in your journey. Thank you all for being here. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for your presence. You just mean so much to me. I love your comments. I love connecting with you in this way. So thank you. And for those of you in Portland, I'm still here. So let's connect. Let's have fun. I started a new meetup group so we can actually be connecting in person while I'm here. So if that's of interest to you, check out, I posted something recently. I need to add it into the description too, so that's just always there, and maybe I did, so check that out. But look below, and I think I'm having an impromptu meet and greet this evening, so come out, have a beverage, let's get a little light meal, see what happens, connect with each other. I love you all. Bye, everybody.